Hi, folks. Welcome in. Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. I'm Dan Dyker along with Al Losi, coming off of Separation Saturday at the Crosse Speedway, and I named that one just perfectly because when we go over the point standings, several drivers may have seen their chances at a point championship disappear this past weekend.
You know, Separation Saturday, as we spoke before taping this, is a perfect example of what that weekend was, but a lot of cars came together, too.
Yeah, and it was
on the track.
not a good come together, as we're going to show you here in a moment. We're going to start things off. Two late model features, and we called it last weekend. We said that there were going to be two spoilers, possibly, to try to juggle things up in the point standings, and that's exactly what happened. First off, before we show you the two features and the two feature winners, probably the hands-down favorite on for Crash of the Week on KQEGTV.com happened very early on in this one right here, and it was Craig Kohlmeyer and Scott Rand, and almost had a couple of other cars that were involved here as well. You'll see him right up to the wall. I knew right there it wasn't going to be good coming back down. Well, Wagner got collected in that melee as well, right underneath the turn one camera. And luckily enough, Craig Kohlmeyer walked away from that one shaken but not stirred. Talked to him afterwards as we were having some dinner with a couple of race teams. He was feeling that right there. Word is that car's done for the year and possibly might not even make it out next season.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage to it. Something had happened. He was already halfway down the straightaway last night on Nights of Thunder. We taped the show and frame by frame looked at it. The car actually veered slightly to the right in the middle of the straightaway. That doesn't happen unless something broke. And then suddenly he's trying to catch it on the inside, and the 17 just happened to be there, and the crash happened, and there's so much damage. So it would be interesting to see what really caused that crash. It looked like it might have been something on the right rear that started it.
Well, Jeremy Wagner was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was ended up collected in that. But I'll tell you what, if you watch that video again, the biggest part of that after it had already happened was the 0-3 to Adam Degenhardt. He was coming down the front straight, full throttle, and put himself into a spin to avoid that crash. If he doesn't do that, he T-bones both Rand, which then would set a trigger into the crumpled 68 car. So very heads-up racing by not only Adam Degenhardt, but several others that could have been a part of that.
Adam has been out there for quite a few years, and he does an excellent job of keeping a level head. And like you said, sometimes the better part of valor is to take your car out of the whole play whatsoever, and he did a good job of doing that, which ended up helping him later in the week.
Late model feature number one went to Mr. Calm Cole Howland as we show the last two laps of this one here. You want to talk about getting the crowd to erupt. When he passed Jay Herbst coming out of turn two with 2 to go, the entire stadium, you could hear him roar from La Crosse to Toma.
Everybody in the stands, too, was texting, Cole Howland, Cole Howland,
Holy
Cole Howland.
Howland held on. We talked to Herbst afterwards, and he said his car was just loose, and he knew it was slipping away, and Cole made the pass. He did it very cleanly. Jay let him go by very cleanly, and we talked to Cole afterwards, and he was concerned that he knew that Todd Korish was back there, and he had his foot into the throttle the entirety for the end of this race. As you see, Korish gets it down to about a half a car length on that last lap. So spoiler number one was Cole Howland. He's been waiting to get up and do that interview with me on the victory lane for the entire season. And congratulations to Cole and his dad and the other crew members that they bring out there. The second one went to a man that had some big-time problems. Adam Degenhardt, Armageddon. Adam Degenhardt had some problems during a heat race. And the first feature, he was behind the wall at least 3 or 4 times. And finally got some things corrected. And for Degenhardt, it was about a quarter of a track lead win.
Yeah, he just took off. There's sometimes when you crash, for some reason, the car ends up picking up speed. You never understand why. But boy, that night it was all him.
Todd Korish, you could tell that man is feeling it. He wants this point championship like you wouldn't believe.
Yep.
First video, there he is in the top 3. Second video, second feature, he's battling Jay Herbst all the way down to the very end again. And Mr. Consistent is really doing some things at that racetrack this year. He maintains the point lead as Adam Degenhardt does get the feature win. He now has a 17-point lead over Sean Paff. Brent Kirshner took quite the hit Saturday night. He fell 10 points back. He's 23 now behind Todd Korish. And Brad Powell is on that outskirts of maybe staying in, maybe not. He's about 47 back. Jay Herbst rounds out the top 5, 60 back. Rest of the top 10, Matt Henderson is putting together some consistent races. Watch that 33 in the upcoming races. Followed by Mike Carlson, Cole Howell, and Adam Degenhardt. And for some reason, the mid-pack legend Bill Niles is still 10th. I'm not sure. How does that work?
I don't know. You are really good friends with Bill. You got to get in touch with him and find out what's going on.
I know. I think he's cheating somebody in the point systems. He's feeding him Lost Lake or something, because I'm not sure how he's in the top 10 in points. We're going to go on to probably one of the most interesting moves that I've seen this race season. Greg Scheck and the Hulk Smash Matt Englert are battling it out side by side for the race late, and you're going to hear this action go on with these two drivers. You notice they're side by side. Arneson and Humfeld made this a heck of a race, battling for third and fourth. It came down to what happened in turn 1, and you're going to see it here in just a minute, and you're going to hear it on the video. Greg Scheck goes in front of Englert. They make contact right there. Listen to the tire screech. I don't know how Scheck held on. I talked to him on Sunday. He said that he white-knuckled it. The body froze. He seriously thought he was going to lose the car. As soon as he felt the bump, it was unintentional. He got in front of Englert, but you're coming into the corner, so you got to get on the brakes. And he thought he was done with that race. And I tell you what, those two, and I said it Saturday night, I wish we could have put both of them in victory lane, because Matt Englert ran his heart out in that race, and congratulations, Greg Scheck.
Yes, and the contact was racing contact. There was nothing that anybody was doing to try to gain an advantage. It was just pure racing, and that's why a lot of these sportsman races are just so exciting and brings a lot of the fans out to the racetrack.
Well, this one here was top 5 almost all the way through the night. I mean, here it is again. Just gets in front, and you see his back end kicking. When I was announcing the race, I thought he was done. I thought he was going to get totally spun. And then Matt Englert, I was waiting for him to get wobbly as well, because if you get a car that's going to pass you and unintentionally bump that bumper, then you're going to be veering up to the right, and you're going to be trying to pull it back down. So outstanding race for both of those guys. Englert was second. Arneson took third. Humfeld rounded out the top 4. Jack Lichheim rounded out the top 5. And the point standings, this one's getting close as well. Now, Randy Humfeld now leads Jake Arneson by 11. Greg Scheck by 15. Matt Englert is 40 back. Rest of the top 10. Aaron Haas, who is making it a luxury to hit victory lane this year. Rick Schermerhorn, who broke the back end off during qualifying. Jack Lichheim, Brian Hesselberg, Bill Martin, and Jamie Dummer. When we return from this break, we're going to talk Thunder Stocks and Outlaws and bring in our sportsman guest of the day. Kind of a neat story behind our guest. We're going to reveal that on the second half here, coming up on 7 Rivers Racing.